Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review slash spoiler discussion for Power Rangers Beast Morphers episode 10. It's called Thrill of the Drill, or Drill Baby Drill, or Digmon the Drill of Power. One of those. Yeah, Australia is getting the episodes early. It started, I think, in Latin America for 9, and then they stopped it. But apparently there's no stopping Australia, and it seems like we're going to be getting them straight through. But at least we all can get a weekly BM to keep us regular from dealing with all that bland Ryu-Soldier content. I decided to do a review slash spoiler video instead of two separate ones for this one, because this was honestly a pretty standard episode. There wasn't really any huge key points worthy of a separate spoiler discussion. I'll sort of just keep that random, depending on if I get to see the episode or not, or whatever. But basically, if you just want to hear about any key points or spoilers, the only real two things of significance were we got to see Silver Ranger's morph, which isn't even a spoiler. Like, that's not even, it just looks like, remember what the Ranger's morph looks like? Now picture that with the Silver Ranger. Boom, there you go. He doesn't get an individual one like Gold, but he's in the group morph, which he wasn't last time. It actually looks kind of cool before he puts the glasses on. There's a moment when you can see Steel's eyes through the visor, and it actually looks really neat, almost like a different mode. And he's like the only one whose head looks normal underneath there, because everyone else has that squished head, and like the helmet doesn't look right. But so that's a thing. And the only other key thing is the general plot, which has the villains trying to essentially steal, or not steal, copy the Rangers' abilities, and now there's like a race between Blaze and Roxy to see who can do that first so that they can get an upgrade, which could potentially lead to one of Enter or Escape's other forms. And those are really the only two significant things that happen in this episode. It was a pretty average episode. I mean, that was pretty much the main plot, is they came up with this device to essentially, you know, kind of like when people steal credit card information with those devices, but with the Rangers' powers, to steal their distinct abilities, you know, the strength, speed, and jumping. And they only managed to get Ravi's in the episode, and then at the end, Evox is like, okay, well, let's do a contest, basically. Whoever can get it to me first gets a power-up. I think that'll be interesting. They both have potential suits that they could use for the power-up. I'm interested to see if they do Blaze's and he gets Enter's original upgrade suit. It would be kind of disappointing in a way because I like the Blaze suit so much. But I was also thinking about Darkbuster had the ability of speed that we saw. Have we seen that in Beast Morphers yet? Because if not, it would be interesting if when they steal Red's power, if he suddenly got that ability that they could use in the footage. But either way, it keeps things interesting. I mean, logically, it would make sense for Evox to eventually want to upgrade them both, having two stronger people on your team, but it's also a good way to keep them motivated. And I like that. I like that about the villains in Beast Morphers, that instead of only always just doing the generic let's attack or let's steal Enertron or morph-x, they have something going on. They have actual smart plans going on, whether it's copying the data or trying to steal their powers or cutting off their communications. Especially Roxy. I'm hashtag Team Roxy. I hope she wins this just because I like her better. It's funny because I love the Darkbuster suit, but Roxy's just been so much of an entertaining, or so much more of an entertaining and clever villain. So I liked that. Like I said, it was, even though it was a filler episode, we have something going on in the background. The other main plot, which was the B plot, was about Ravi having a toothache and being afraid to go to the dentist. Classic PR nonsense mess around. This is something I want to call out, though, that I appreciate. It's not like worthy of an academy. I don't know why I said academy like that. Like an award. But after Supercharge and Ninja Steel doing that thing where the B plot was the focus and everything Ranger related felt like a backseat, I was appreciative of the fact that their job as Rangers felt like the priority, and the tooth plot was a B thing, as it should be. If this was Ninja Steel, the tooth thing would be absolutely front and center. So I appreciate that about Beast Morphers filler, is it feels balanced, as all things should be. It was kind of here or there. It was a little bit silly, a little bit kind of classic stupid PR stuff. There was actually some kind of funny bits when he was at the office and he mistakenly saw the shadow of some guy with a drill fixing something and he thought it was the dentist. And Ben and Betty actually kind of had a funny moment where they're the ones that took him to the dentist, and he's like, oh yeah, it's totally gonna be fine, don't even worry about it. And someone comes out with a bandage and they're like, yikes, and he's like, what? They're like, oh, nothing, it'll be fine. So that was kind of funny. It was kind of a weak plot in general. Like, I didn't hate it. I was like, why do you... It was just kind of weak. It was just kind of there. It felt like, it's not like I wanted it to be an Academy Award-winning tooth plot, but it was just, I don't know, it felt tacked on. It felt like the whole plot about Blaze and Roxy trying to copy their powers could have driven the whole episode. Because, like, this basically just amounted to him, I'm scared of the dentist, and then he saw Nate, who's afraid of spiders, conquer his fear of spiders by putting it on the ground. I would have been like, ah! Sorry about that. That's what it amounted to. He saw Nate conquer his fear. He's like, I gotta conquer my fear too. And then he went to the dentist and that was it. So I don't know. It didn't need to be there. It didn't upset me, but I felt there was enough content in the rest of the episode to drive that in general. Also, something I wanted to mention, which I forgot to mention in last week's review, is at the beginning of the episode, they're hanging out at the new juice bar doing training. And I wanted to mention this last week, how even though the Rangers' identities are supposed to be secret, they're all hanging out with Steel like it's normal. I guess maybe because they're actually acknowledging the people of this world acknowledge the PR world. Maybe it's less of a weird thing. But I also feel like Steel's not going to worry about hiding his presence when in the presence of the Morphed Rangers. So wouldn't it kind of out them if they're always hanging out with the robot? Other side note about that scene, there was a really cool remix of the opening riff of the original Power Rangers theme when they're fighting. I know I am kind of sick of the MMPR ripoffs too, but it was a really cool little remix reuse that I liked for the training scene. But honestly, that was pretty much about it. We didn't debut the mecha yet for this guy, which I'm actually happy about. I know a lot of it's due to Go Buster's approach, but given how rushed things like Ryu Soldier have been with introducing things, I appreciate the slow burn. We didn't even see their mechas, period, in this episode. I mean, overall, I enjoyed this episode. I would give it a 7.5. I found it to be an enjoyable watch. I got my Beast Morphers fixed, but it wasn't anything jump out of your seat crazy, nothing too huge, but I do appreciate that they're keeping the plot going. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can actually see my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.